Hello, you guys, and welcome to Tony Approve. My name is King, and this is Friday, December the 8th, 2017. This is episode 1 of Tony Approved. I am here with my co host for the episode.
Yo, what's good? Name's White Angel.
I'm Aaron.
Okay, so getting right to our topics for this week. On Monday was Jay-Z's birthday. It was December the 4th. And I watched his interview he did with Time Magazine. He did it was it said he was actually shot in September, and they finally released it now. He touched on a lot of different points in the interview. He talked about his album, and how it related to pushing the black culture forward, as far as us coming together and building up our own financial wealth so we don't have to depend on other people. He talked about how important it was for us to, when we get to a certain point in our career, to not disconnect from the culture. And that was one thing that really kind of stuck out to me. Did y'all get a chance to see it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay, so I like the part where he was talking about how when he brought up the whole thing with OJ, and he was saying that because OJ got to that point and disconnected with the culture, when everyone turned on him, when he was no longer protected by the sports that he was playing, that he was kind of left out there on his own.
Yeah.
True. I see kind of what it's coming from because, I don't know, it was, for me, it was more so like he made the point that, like, when you do what's expected of you, you get protected. And that was just, I don't know, I guess that was kind of strong for me, so.
Who thinks that?
No, he was talking about, like, the whole Tiger Woods situation. When you're out there playing golf, you know what I'm saying, you protect it, you know what I'm saying, you do what's expected of you. So the moment you start doing that, you start wilding out a little bit, acting like...
I don't know. As a person, I feel like I don't see how people do bad stuff and expect it, not even a little bit of it to come to light. Like,
I mean, when you making money, though,
what does that
I just
mean?
would assume, like, you got the platform that it just goes under the rug for you just because you got people out there that support you. But,
I think it's more of a chance of getting out if, you're popular. Like, I feel like more dirt gets swept under the rug from people, local pharmacists. You know what I'm saying? Like, your neighborhood mailman.
I feel like they go straight to the clean. I feel like when you at the top, they kind of give you some leeway until you bump elbows with the wrong person the
Good
wrong
point.
way.
I can see
you
that
know
as
what I'm
well.
saying? And then they stop clearing up your mishaps for you. Yeah.
Well, see, I guess that could be true, but I don't know. I like the fact that he brought a lot of things as far as cultural relevance to the black community to the forefront. And I like the fact that that was his focus, or when it comes to certain, not only with just his music, but with different things. We talked about the story of OJ, and even with his connection with Bam, with how that connects back to the birth of reggae music and how it influenced hip hop and stuff like that. I like the fact that his whole thing is us moving forward because he realizes where his position is when it comes to the black community.
Yeah.
That we really do hold him at a high esteem because he's one of our, black figures. So I like the fact that he's determined to push us forward. But one thing that was kind of striking to me when it came to his interview was that I noticed when Wendy Williams reported on it, she didn't actually focus on any of that. She only focused on the little smart part of the interview where he talked about Kanye West, which was just kind of striking to me because
That's why the reporter asked. The reporter didn't even want to ask about that.
right, and he even brought it up and said that was the gossip question.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta, you gotta sell.
He wasn't gonna be on Wendy Williams if he didn't ask.
Right, but the crazy thing about it is, like, the same way Jay-Z is standing up for the culture and saying, this is what we should do, and he's spreading it forward, you're a certain type of figure, you have a certain type of pedestal.
Oh, yeah.
You
I feel you. But, I mean, at the same time, like, I be wondering, like, when you hear certain people talk about how they don't speak on social issues just because they kind of don't necessarily have a grasp on it, it makes me wonder, like, do certain people not speak up on things because really they are just not really the people who should be necessarily pushing something like that forward. Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you care about the movement, then by all means, jump right in. But if you're just going to be pimping it, like...
We all pimping it. What are you talking about?
I mean, I understand we all pimping it. Don't get me wrong, but there's still, like,
People want to
some
act
sort
like they're
of
ready for
structure
action.
into that. You know what I'm saying? There's still like some sort of structure, and like I get it. We all are profiting off a system the way that it is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Somebody
But
made that shirt you got on.
at the
That's
same
funny.
time, there is kind of like some sort of code in it. Like I don't know, like if you.
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
different levels because that's the case. And I know you don't watch the show, but I'll say I'm a faithful watcher because I like to catch the topics that she's talking about.
For sure.
But as
Wendy
far as with
Williams.
Wendy Williams,
Okay.
but I mean, she comments very heavily on the Meek situation, and she said different things about the whole judge, and said that how she's now starting to side with Meek when more information about the judge is starting to come out as far as her patterns when it comes to other people. So if you can comment on that, then
I mean,
why
is
can't
that a
you
social
connect it?
change issue?
Has she
But it's about the
commented?
same thing because that's turning into shedding more light on the fact that the law is against black people, which is something that or black men, which is something we've already kind of
I get,
shedded
but she
on
black
for-
though. That's my only thing. That's my only thing with that. When the judge is black, I get what's happening. I do, but the judge is black, and I don't really want to speak on the situation too much. You know what I'm saying? Because it's somebody's like life that's hanging there in the balance. But I just don't necessarily know if it's like. Well, yeah, it's still a black and white thing because if he was white, he probably wouldn't be getting treated like
My
that. I
question-
do get that part now too, but.
My question about Wendy Williams is: has she commented on her husband?
No, she has not.
Oh, okay. All right, then you're discredited to me. What you're saying, like you just gossiping at that point. You're not talking about
I thought
what
that's
you
what
got
you
going.
watch it for though. Don't people watch
No,
it?
Well,
for
no,
that?
I don't watch it for that. I watch it for the topics because she always
You a
comments on
topic.
what's going on.
She a topic though, and
That's still kind of guy.
But I mean, I feel like she has very valid opinions when it comes to certain things, and I'll
But
have
not
to
her own
accept her
life?
for what she's. I mean, she chooses not to talk about it.
Okay, all right.
So with that
She
part,
talking about
I
it.
just accepted on. But I just feel like if
She
if
talking
we gonna
about a
move the
man
culture
who
forward, we need
is
something
about
good.
to face prison time, but she can't talk about her own relationship. I'm
If
sorry.
she can't make it funny, then I don't want her to try. If she gonna make it like super serious,
And I respect
But then
Wendy
again,
Williams.
I'm
I
pretty
respect
proud
her,
about it.
but I respect her hustle. She came up, but
I mean, maybe she should cry. But I just don't even know how you would break wind on that one. Just I don't know.
That's funny. So just turning to something else that actually recently caught my attention. I watched Chris Brown's documentary on Netflix. It's called Chris Brown's Welcome to My Life. It's a great documentary, a great inside look, and it's different because my main person is Beyonce, and she always puts out different documentaries, and I always watched it kind of with her, and then I'll always do like behind the musics when it comes to other artists. But with Chris Brown, his documentary was set up kind of like hers. He kind of retold his story from his own perspective. And the different thing about Chris is, my whole thing when it comes to Chris, I always respected him as an entertainer. I always knew he had a love for music. But sometimes I felt like he might struggle when he sings live, vocally dancing at the same time, compared to the amount of time that he's been in the music industry. I feel like, you might have struggled with it at the beginning, but after 10 years, you should have at least mastered the ability to sing and dance at the same time without having to sing over your tracks. But when I watched the documentary, it kind of shed more light to kind of show me that Chris Brown hasn't always been in a position where he's been able to just solely focus on his art. The whole thing with him and Rihanna, that happened like 3 years into his career. Mm-hmm. So he had that to happen. He had this big major backlash to happen. And, he's dealing with it as a personal man, and he's having these anger issues. He's, attacking people. He's going to jail behind it, coming back. And, like, I'll give you an example of something that they showed. They showed a clip of his BET performance when he came home from jail. And I remember when I originally watched it, I noticed that he had gained some weight, and I was like, oh, Chris still singing with this track, and he's still dancing, and it sounds like he needs the track to help him vocally. But I wasn't taking into the fact that, this young man really did just get out of jail. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't been in jail focusing on his vocals the whole time. He's been focusing on, trying to survive.
Get out of jail, you know what I'm saying?
And also, I think performing live is a young person's thing. You need a lot of energy to do that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I think it probably deteriorates after you turn a certain age. Not saying that his talent is, because I think Chris Brown is an amazing talent, but
Of course, and I do too.
at the same time, I can't blame bruh for singing with the track, because it's like half these rappers singing with the track.
But see, my thing with Chris
And
Brown
they
is
can't sing at all or dance. It's
right.
like,
Chris Brown can actually sing and Chris Brown can actually dance. I have a love for music and entertainers. I want to see Chris Brown be the best. Yeah, I feel like if Usher can sing and dance at the same time in his prime, if different other artists can do. I'm trying not to name my main favorite, but there are other people that's in the industry that can really sing and dance at the same time within a 10-year time span, or who have grown to be able to do it over time. I feel like Chris Brown is somebody who really had that ability to be able to do it, but the documentary shed more light on some of his roadblocks, and it actually gave me more respect for him because he's overcome a lot of stuff, and for him to still be somebody who is almost on every single track, every album he drops, it goes to number one. He has his streaming. He just dropped a 45-track album, and it's been in the number 3 spot on Tidal since he dropped it. So, MotorSport's video finally dropped, and I was extremely excited to see that video because I am really feeling Cardi B right now. It's just something about it. I'm really, really feeling it. I was really excited to see it. The video has this futuristic type car type look to it. Everybody killed that video scene. Everybody showed up to the video and was on point. I know I had said previously that I was feeling some type of way because it didn't get a banner on Tidal. When they finally officially released it, it did get its banner on Tidal, so I was happy about that. Yeah, I really wish we could have got some scenes of Cardi and Nicki being together, And it's weird because I have to remember that, at the end of the day, this is kind of like a job. So you go there, you go to get the job done. Us as fans, or me as a fan, would like you to put the music before anything else.
Yeah.
So if anything for the culture, let's get in here and not necessarily be fake. We ain't got to be dapping it up, but let's stand next to each other. You know what I'm saying? But it's levels to it. But that video was definitely hard. I think it's going to be one of the recognized collaborations of 2017, going even in 2018.
That they were flying in the cars at the end. It was 4 cars, so you know what I'm saying. That was kind of togetherness. They flew out at the same time. But I mean, I feel like that kind of goes into not faking it. Like if y'all really got some issues right now, don't necessarily, if y'all can't stand next to each other, don't be standing there acting, like everything good.
But why do y'all have issues is the real question.
Bruh, you know what it is out here in these
You,
streets. Everybody trying to get some bread.
backstory.
I know somewhat, like a Uzi record not getting cleared in Atlantic having some type of beef with Nicki, but are y'all really not friends because of other people's business?
Well, it's rumored and said that Atlantic specifically set Cardi up to be the next person in female rap.
Okay, that's what it is.
Right, but instead of Nicki
competition.
kind of embracing it like she should have, Cardi has subliminally said that, hey, she wasn't really too nice to me now. And how it ended up turning was everybody else embraced her. So now it's kind of like, you're on the outskirts, but then y'all jump on this track together. So it makes it look awkward to come together. But at the same time, it's like, y'all already on the track together. Y'all already pushing it forward together. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, this MotorSports record is going to do better than this record that Nicki's on with Lil Uzi. Honestly.
I doubt that.
Yeah,
That remix
Uzi
video.
is kind of going at the moment.
And Nicki red hot.
Yeah,
anything
bruh.
she dropped going on.
Yeah, and that's
matter.
but
And
that's
see,
what my thing,
it's
bro.
the
It's
competition
like,
between the two.
exactly.
One record got the Migos and Cardi, who are 2 hot fire people on there by themselves, along with her, versus this record that she's trying to push for Lil Uzi. Not down Lil Uzi. Lil Uzi is hot, but
He signed
it's
to
2 versus
who he
1.
signed to? Who Uzi signed
with Drum and
to? Cannon, Don Cannon. He signed to them, but what's the deal with Atlantic? He with Atlantic as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my thing is, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the beef still. I feel like people are, I don't know if people will be over it because they talk about, checks being blocked up.
Yeah, when checks start
But
getting
when
blocked,
checks
then
getting
they-
blocked up,
yeah.
it's totally different. But I'm just more so interested in the fact that there's some competition being out there because I feel like it's making better music.
Really?
Yeah, but I feel like at least making people try a little bit harder in their music. And that's what you need, bro. People, like, pressure
But you don't get them both in the video at the same time.
I mean, they are in the video at the same time. Use your imagination. That works. I mean, she ain't in the video with nobody else really either except Quavo.
Yeah,
Like, chill.
yeah,
But
and
I wanna
then
see
that'd be the little bit of underlying kind of shade too. It's just, and then again, but here's the ultimate question that comes from me: if y'all weren't gonna be able to be in the song together, if y'all were gonna take shots on the record, if y'all were gonna kind of say the video and come out on this date and then the video don't come out to that, if y'all was gonna have all of this kind of Bogart with the record,
The
was it
Uzi
even
video
really
came
worth
out
it?
first.
Yes, it's worth it. Your family do the same exact thing. That's as natural as it get. I feel like this is one of the realest moments that we've been having in a minute. That at least,
Really?
you know what I'm saying?
This is the realest moment.
Well, what
You
I more
know,
so
I'm
mean,
sorry,
what I
bro.
more so mean is how it's being portrayed. At least they not standing there dapping each other up, because I think that there really might be some issues there, and if y'all gonna have to be on this song together,
But
because
it's Nicki.
you get into the game. You get into the game, and how you stay on top of the game. You work with the hottest artists. We all know this,
It's
bruh.
Nicki though.
But
Nicki,
we all know this. I'd just be surprised if people be surprised. It's
Nicki
like,
called out Miley Cyrus, bro. She gonna call out Cardi B.
again, where's the surprise in that?
That's my point, bro. That's why I don't think it's that real, bro. I feel like they really seem like they beefing over some, like,
Right.
you blocking checks over some non-existent shit.
I mean, but where does it really go in hip hop after that spot? As far as, you know, the marketing of hip hop and where it's at right now.
The blocking the checks, where do y'all getting that from? Because from
Brett just said they was blocking checks.
I mean, they say it in the rap. She
right,
said it in the
but
rap.
I
that she
think
was
I think
blocking
we're
bags.
I think we're
Who said that?
connecting two
Nicki
different
said it
stories.
in the,
Remy's the one that
Lucifer's.
came out and said that she had been trying to block a bag. Cardi never said that she was trying to block a bag.
I don't think Cardi had. Well, okay.
Cardi ain't got that power.
That's what I'm saying.
And then she's the number
Nicki
one,
knows
she's
she
the number
don't
one
have
artist
that
on
power.
Atlantic right now. Well, one of the number one artists on Atlantic. So she really kind of throwing her weight. Really, they say she threw her weight. That's how she was able to get on the Motorsport verse and before Nicki, and get Nicki to change her verse on the record.
But you have to have
I
a
don't
lot of content.
think
to
she was
keep
on that
weight
before
throwing
Nicki. I
going.
think
I don't think
Nicki
she's
and
No,
Quavo.
I'm
going
saying
on that.
afterward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after it said that, after she sent in her verse, that's when Cardi got on the song, but she was name checking her in the verse, so she had to change it. Which, that's another thing I want to bring up to the videos. Also, shout out Nicki Minaj. It is her birthday today. Happy birthday. And this is all coming from fans, standpoint. I have bought albums. I don't just sit here and talk. So yeah, that concludes this first episode. I just wanted to cover a couple of topics that I was posting on my Instagram for this week. Today is Friday, December the 8th, 2017, and just to give out some shout outs, new albums have dropped today. Juicy J's album drop is called Rubber Band Business. Rubber Band Business. K. Michelle, one of my favorite artists in the world, has dropped a new album, her fourth R&B album. We're hoping we get this to number one. I'm gonna make sure I buy a copy of that. It's called K. Michelle, Kimberly, The People I Used to Know. Let's see. We also got Big Sean. I'm gonna definitely check that out. Big Sean dropped a double album, and he dropped it with Metro Boomin. It's only a 10-track album. It has several features on it. Looks like it has 21 Savage on it, 2 Chainz, Travis Scott, Cash Doll, Swally. Sway Lee. Yes.
From Ray Sherman.
Ray Sherman.
So we got a couple of albums that you guys can check out on Tidal or Spotify or Apple Music, anywhere that music is purchased or sold. Thank you for tuning in to Tony Approved.
We out, man.
Okay.
Well, Angel Raps, boy, check me out on that Twitter. Yeah.